So during COVID crisis, it is paramount important that we focus on holistic health, where we look at four pillars, which is physical health, mental health, emotional health, including spiritual health. When these four pillars are in perfect equilibrium, that's when we achieve ideal health condition for oneself. It's not just the physical health that matters, mental health and emotional health as well. So it has been claimed based on certain studies that when one of these pillars is lacking behind, it does impact overall health of a person. So the government and many agencies which are addressing COVID issues and crisis at present are very much focused on physical health. Of course, they're also focusing on mental health and emotional health, but it is not being promoted as fiercely as physical health. So it is up to us to look at holistic and balanced health in order to get through this crisis, not only now, forever. That is the approach we got to take. It is claimed that the emotions of a person plays a huge role in managing one's immunity. So it's important that we care about our emotional health. So what can we do? How do we enhance our emotional health and stability? So there are many ways that we can explore. I will share what I do for my emotional stability and to keep my mental health in good condition. I create me time, alone time. So the time that is meant for me, during that time I do a lot of things like go for a walk, or just meditate, read a book, listen to music. It's just my time. I'm letting go of the events that has happened in the day, in that time span. So it's a time that I try to renew and refresh my mind as well as my emotions. In my situation, as I live by myself, and I have to do a lot of physical work, which keeps me really busy the entire day. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, so I have my cup of tea and start cleaning the yard, front yard and backyard, and then I wait to receive first rays of the sun and begin morning chores. So with that, my day will run in similar fashion. I come to the garden, take care of plants. There are times that I may have to do the watering, weeding, cutting grass. Then I'm taking care of the plant health to make sure there are no pests. If there are pests, then I have to do pesticide spraying, stuff like that. Apart from that, I also do a lot of household chores like grocery shopping, cooking, cleaning, laundry. Keeps me really busy, and I got a health app which monitors my steps that I've taken in that day during that process, and I got a target of 10,000 steps in a day. If I have not reached that during the day doing all these routines, I top it up using my treadmill. So my treadmill is there for me, and while I'm on treadmill, sometimes I watch my favorite television show using my tablet, or listen to music, and so I work out for 30 minutes, and I top off my target of 10,000 steps in a day, burn around 200 calories. So I'm also trying to take care of my physical health in a whole process, that I'm also improving my mental and emotional health. This is what I do for my overall well-being, hoping that it will enhance my immunity to withstand any kind of infections that are around me. So my favorite time of the day is evening, when I'm done with all my chores of the day. I sit down, light a candle, have a soft light, soft music, and sit and relax. And sometimes I catch up what's happening in the world. I turn on to my Canadian television. I get the update of what's happening in Canada, the city I lived in, that is Calgary. So I'm in touch with the reality there, and also catch up with stuff that has happened in India. But again, I limit those input because it's kind of overstimulating my sensory organs. So I limit that, and yet I'm also in touch with reality, so that I know what's going on in the world. Another challenge for me is balancing alone time and social time. Now that we are in social distancing, so I have to be very careful how much of social contact I have. I have a very limited social bubble around me, but I do regulate that, and I'm very conscious of keeping that in balance. I have few people that I relate, and I have a qualitative social time with those people, but I regulate that very consciously, because a lot of time I get unwanted stuff, people throwing at me, and I try to avoid such things because it becomes a burden on me that I'm not able to carry that over a period of time. I find another very important and an effective way of coping with my emotional and mental challenges, or with being with pets, like a dog. And when I come to garden, the dog approaches me, and she's very happy dog. Actually makes me feel very relaxed. And in my garden there are a lot of wildlife, I can say, butterfly, different kind of birds. So looking at them, just sheer looking at them, it relaxes me. So that's how I manage my emotional and mental health, actually. Another thing that keeps me very busy is chasing monkeys. We got a lot of wild monkeys, really a nuisance. They're nice, but at the same time nuisance, because they damage property and they damage my plantation in my garden. So I have to keep an eye on them and chase them, which would keep me really busy. And I am kind of understanding their behavior. Monkeys have a very peculiar behavior, actually. I have what I call as a virtual social bubble. I got a bunch of friends that I relate to them on an ongoing basis and share things that is close to my heart, that I am passionate about, and that is shared by a bunch of friends that they are in my virtual social bubble, and that keeps me going. Even though physically I'm not in contact with many people, but virtually I am. So that doesn't make me lonely, but it's a alone time, but a qualitative time, but in a virtual reality. It's a fascinating experience to go through. So this is Prajwal, our neighbor, and he has come to fetch some medicinal plants for his grandmother. So a lot of my neighbors come and share stuff that I'm growing, actually. So it makes me feel good about that. I think that my health is my responsibility and no one else. So I take complete control of my health, physical health, mental health, emotional health, as well as spiritual health. So I do anything and everything to keep my health going in balance. So I have to eat healthy, and I have to work out, take my medication, and monitor my health parameters. I got bunch of machines which monitors my vitals, like blood pressure, blood sugar, my weight, and then health app. So this gives me feedback, and what we call as a biofeedback system that I created in my life. So constantly keeps feeding me with parameters. So then I know whether I'm on the track or I'm off track. If I'm off track, I do corrections, and so that's one way of managing my health, overall health. If I do well overall, which means my mental health, emotional health is also doing well.